Hello everyone, I am Geneforge and welcome to this Let's Play of Geneforge 4. We just went through this area and discovered that we can't actually clear it out as far as I know. So we're just gonna have to run through it every time we want to transfer from the Shaper camp to the Rebel camp. So, we may as well go to the Rebel camp next. Onwards we go. Well, there's a wall out here. We'll take a look around the outside of the wall first, before we actually go into anywhere. The canister remains. Makes sense, I mean it is the rebel camp, so... yeah. Oh, hello! Random rat. Random dead rat. Ha. Alright. There's the west entrance to the camp. I'm guessing there's no east entrance, but there's probably a north entrance. Although we're gonna start in the north, in the south, because... oh, I guess there's not a north entrance. Oh, really? There. Ooh, that's a speedy rat. Pulsating rat? That doesn't sound very good. Okay, you know what? Kill that. Ooh, all of us are poisoned. That's not good. Oi, leave him alone. Oh dear. That. And that. Oh boy. Okay, we're good. And a fine skin was dropped. We'll sell it. Is there anything else back? Well, there's a dead body back here. Polished shield. Plus 10 armor, plus 10 radiance? Undead bane. Plus 2 to energy preservation, plus 10 to mind effect resistance of creations. Sure, I'll take that. We can store the shaped shield. Actually, that's 12 pounds. This is 16. That actually saves a bit. Nice. What the heck? We can actually take it, so we can sell that in camp. Alright. Let me just walk out and back in so we can get fully healed up. Nyarhar. There we are. Now into the camp. You are at the entrance to a rebel fort, hurriedly built at the northeast corner of the Fens of Azarath, and it is a miserable-looking place. It doesn't look like they had time to do proper construction work before the soldiers moved in, and the rebels are generally too ethical to work serviles to the point of death. As a result, only the outer walls and one building in the center are done. Everyone else is making do in incomplete buildings with unfinished roofs, sleeping and eating in the mud and the wet. The air in the camp is heavy with the smell of mildew and the sound of sneezing and coughing. It's a dispiriting sight, but hopefully you won't have to stay here for very long. Your overall mission is to find Northforge Citadel. With any luck, you can get some supplies and be on your way. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Feel my biceps. Let's work out. Oh my. You meet the head trainer for the rebel camp, who is walking around in the mist looking for soldiers to inflict education on. He's very happy to see you. You! Yeah, you, Lifecrafter! Just because you can create servants doesn't mean you can let yourself get all soft and slack. I'm Captain Archibald, and I'm ready to help you get into shape! You can train me? Sure! Work out with you a bit, practice the martial skills, keep you in shape, maybe even teach you a thing or two. With the right amount of money, you can pay Archibald to improve your weapon skills. Huh. You can't pay to improve anything you've trained in twice already. I just want to exercise a little. Cool, that's the spirit! Archibald leads you through some vigorous calisthenics. It makes his day. Alright, and we can't train in anything because we've already trained in all of it. I don't need any exercise right now. That is the sort of defeatist attitude that will deliver us into the hands of the Shapers. Is that all you do in the fort? Train? All I do? As if that isn't enough. Young people come here dreaming of freedom and heroism, not having any idea what it takes to take on the forces of the Shapers. Go on. You ever been on your back on the ground, a Fuhrer on top of you, its teeth around your neck, fire burning you, one of your arms already gone? No? Well, let me tell you, that's a bad place to be. In that situation, you might think that you're in trouble, but with real training and discipline, you can figure out a way out of that situation and live to fight another day. How? Well, that's not my job. I can't give you brains. I just give you the physical tools to carry out your plan. Maybe you grab your arm and hit the monster over the head with it, whatever it takes. Captain Archibald smiles, pleased to have had the chance to impart some wisdom. Yeah. Sure, that sounds like a perfectly logical and workable plan. Well, you would be in a desperate situation, so I guess it could work. Maybe. I mean, you'd stun it, and might daze it a bit, so it might give you a chance to do something? I don't know! Let's see here. Main barracks. Let's see. There is a rebel soldier sitting on the bench here, chatting with the others and waiting to be given orders. He wears a heavy suit of chainmail, and a sword hanging from his belt looks like it's seen heavy use. When you approach him, he nods toward the man sitting behind the desk in the corner. Talk to Commander Ellsworth, he's waiting for you. I imagine so. A mage sitting here lost in meditation. When you get close, she opens her eyes. There is something strange about her, like an aura, a field of magic that projects into the air around her. She sees that you can feel it, and she smiles. There is a servile sitting here. He is frail and, understandably, looks very nervous. There is a heavy belt of tools, both metal and living, around his waist. When you approach him, he nods toward the man sitting at the desk in the corner. Talk to Commander Ellsworth, Lifecrafter. I think that he is waiting for you. He pulls out a rag and starts to clean a set of lockpicks. I guess we have to speak with Commander Ellsworth. There is a tired, misshapen man sitting at the desk, sorting through the fort's roster. He goes through the list of soldiers, humans, servile, and creation, and makes notes of them. On patrol, infirmary, eaten, newly made. Eventually, with the right amount of shuffling and throat clearing, you get his attention. He stares at you silently for a nice, long, awkward stretch of time. I'm Commander Ellsworth. I'm in charge of dealing with the troops today in this... And then he describes the Fens of Azarath in a highly colorful and obscene way. Eventually, he settles down. General Greta says I'll be helping you. I am going to be working with you? Eventually, if Greta gives a say-so, so you should stop wasting my time and go and talk to her, and then you can talk to me. Okay, you know what, we'll come back and talk with Greta first, and then we'll go talk around. Speak of the devil! Once again, you meet Greta. She is thrilled that you have made it here safely. She runs up and grabs your hand. You made it through, Elia, at last. I was quite worried. I am sure that you had as rough a journey as we did. Greta came here by boat. There must have been a battle along the way. One side of her face is badly burned. I am General Greta now, by the way. Please address me by my title as is appropriate. I would love to trade stories of the escape from the Forsaken Lands, but there is a new emergency to deal with. One that, for once, involves us working with the Shapers instead of fighting against them. You were promoted to General? Well, not really. I just showed up here and assumed the title. The place was a wreck and someone needed to show some authority, so I did. I'll stop putting on airs when Shaper Monarch is dealt with. You know what? I'm fine with that. I mean, someone needs to take charge, and Greta has shown that she at least has experience and the like, so yeah. Her temporarily assuming General on her own... Yeah, sure, I think I'm fine with that. I'm glad to be here, and I'm ready to proceed north and find Geneforge Citadel. Greta looks troubled. Your enthusiasm is admirable, but you, like me, have been waylaid. I'm afraid you'll need my permission to go north, and you won't have it until the scourge of the swamps is eliminated. It is too much of a threat to remain unchecked. What is the new emergency? A madman. He calls himself Shaper Monarch. Doubt it's his real name, but his powers are real. He is a Shaper of considerable skill, and he is claiming the Fens of Azarath as his own. We and the Shapers are in agreement for once. He must be destroyed. I have been waiting for skilled agents to arrive and help to infiltrate his lair, and here you are. Why does he have to be eliminated? Are the Fens that important? Because, in all honesty, I can't really take that seriously. A guy who, despite having incredible power, names himself after a goddamn butterfly. The Fens of Azorath are not that of great importance, but Shaper Monarch is. He is making rogue creations, powerful, twisted, and completely out of control, and sending them out to wander and wreak havoc. Since he does not bother to control them, he can make them as powerful as he wants. Since he is so skilled, he can make hordes of them. And he is. So you feel he is a great danger? He has already destroyed one town, Grosh, to the west. That is his base now. We do not know how much trouble he can cause, but he is getting worse. History tells us that one-man Shaper can cause considerable trouble. So I am enlisting you. Let us discuss the issue and we will work out a plan of attack. I am ready to help at any time. Greta smiles. I am glad to hear you say it. None of us are leaving this mud pit until Monarch is gone. Otherwise his disease will spread to our lands. Now let's have a chat. Tell me about your journey north. It was brief and mostly uneventful. We had a small flotilla of crafts, some wooden, some shaped. We had no problems until we were sighted on the water when we almost made it to camp. They sent wingboats over the water to us. She gently pokes at her burns with her fingertips. Fortunately, we only lost 2 ships to them before we reached the safety of the camp. And why don't you tell me what happened since you left Geneforge? Since you left Southforge? Well, we escorted the caravan to the west. It was a bit of a fight, but we eventually made it there. We managed to go into delay. We were actually given permission to speak with General Alwyn there. I believe you know him. And, well, we spoke with him now and then, and while we did help him on occasion, we did nothing that would endanger the rebellion. We also happened to find and assist the rebel safe house, and we happened to eliminate one of the 3 Shapers guarding the barrier zone. Actually, we eliminated 2, although only 1 was really necessary. The other one we decided to be nice and helpful. We may take care of the 3rd one later, if you will accept it. Plus, of course, there were many other things that we did, many other side quests and the like. Greta listens with great interest while you describe your journey. She is pleased to hear of the successes you have had against the Shapers. It is quite a relief to know that we chose well when we selected you. You are lucky to have gotten this far, with as little experience as you have had. I am glad to have you fighting here with me. Perhaps you can help break the stalemate. The power of a life crafter is truly great. General Greta tries to maintain a cold, somber exterior, but she seems genuinely pleased that you survived to meet her here. What else do you want to know? We're all veteran campaigners here, after all. Has anything else been happening while I have been traveling? Well, there is the standard gossip. The Dracons are still arrogant, the Shapers are still doing serious damage, and certain crazed, secretive sects are continuing to spread. Tell me more about the Dracons? The rebellion has always had 2 parts, the humans and the creations. The creations are mostly to the north, and they are led by the Dracons. The Dracons have always been secretive and arrogant, and they are getting more so. As we humans flee to the north, I expect some difficult diplomacy. Where are the humans going to? The humans that have been fleeing north are going to a settlement called the Renton Freehold. It is up in distance from the newly built city of the Dracons, and this is probably a good thing. The Shapers have been hitting us hard? All of the news coming from Ilia province is bad. The Forsaken lands are completely cut off, and Shaper infiltrators have been finding ways to slip into Burwood province. To stabilize the situation, we need reinforcements and we need life crafters, and that is why we need to find and protect the Geneforge at Northforge Citadel as soon as we can. What sect are you referring to? I am talking of the Trachovites, those misfits who have been saying that shaping should be completely abandoned. Exactly the sort of thing we the rebels don't need. Someone trying to take away our weapons. I recently heard that the Shapers found a Trachovite in Delame and were going to have him killed. This is one area in which they and I are in agreement. Yes, I'm sure that they managed to find someone completely on their own. I'd like to know more about Shaper Monarch. We know very little, and most of what knowledge we have obtained was from letters sent by the Shaper camp to the southwest. He is a human male. His creations destroyed the town of Grosh, the ruins of which are now his base of operations. He is making the most powerful creations he can and turning them loose to do harm. Was he a Shaper? I think so. He must have been a lawyer Shaper who went mad. This is the only explanation that makes sense. I have never met a rebel who would willingly wreak such havoc. Also, as I have seen firsthand, it is possible for Shapers to go mad and do horrible things. She stares off into the distance, remembering. It happens much more often than they want you to know. So the rebels think that he must have been a Shaper, and the Shapers think he must have been a rebel. Who was he then? Why don't his rogues attack him? It is a mystery. He makes hordes of rogue, dangerous, mindless creations, and they leave his lair peacefully. We don't know why. If we did, we may be closer to defeating him. Why is he doing it? It is probably nothing more exotic than the simple desire for land and power. He has had his creations carry letters to us proclaiming his dominion over these lands and his demands that we leave. Such a waste. Such madness. What do you want me to do? Even with our coordinated assaults, we and the Shapers have not been able to overcome Monarch's defenses. All we can do is whittle down his defenses in the hope that we can slip an agent inside Grosh. We want you to try and find a weakness in his defenses, and we believe that we know how. As we have learned through the efforts of our spies that Monarch has a prisoner, a Shaper named Kirik. I had not expected to hear of this. It was quite a surprise, but I wish you to rescue him. He is a cunning fellow. His time in the sewers of Grosh might have given him some insight into Monarch's work. And since you have fought so well, we are trusting you with an actual command. We can provide soldiers to direct during your infiltration. You sound like you know Kirik. I met them when I was traveling through the Ashen Isles at the very beginning of the rebellion. It wasn't long before I abandoned even any trace of respect for the Shapers and joined the rebellion. Kirik is a trained Shaper, but he was exiled to a remote island. He was a malcontent and they disposed of him. I had thought that he was remaining on the islands, but he left them, for reasons I'm not sure of. He is smart and powerful, but I doubt that he will be dangerous to you. Where is Kirik? There is a network of tunnels under Grosh, part abandoned mine, part sewers. We think that he is under the southern half of the town. Of course, getting into Grosh will be very difficult. That is why we are providing you with troops to command. You will send soldiers with me? Yes, we are going to display trust in your competence and put lies in your hands. Go see Commander Ellsworth in the barracks in the southeast corner of the fort. He will tell you more. What should I do with Kirik when I find him? Try to bring him back to us. I am hoping that he might be swayed to our side. His power would be of great value to us. I see. So, Kirik is to be rescued. Except... both of them want a Kirik. We're going to have to eventually decide who we send Kirik to. I don't know who. You approach Master Jared. Up until recently, the young Master Lifecrafter of Southforge Citadel now stationed here in the swamps. These once impeccable robes are torn and stained. He also needs to bathe. When you enter, he is in the process of constructing an Urglach, a long and complicated job. When he sees you, he takes a break, muttering a spell and freezing the Glach in place. Well then, another product of the Geneforge stranded in the fens. According to Greta, our self-styled general, I am to train you, as if I have time with all the other work I am given. Although his words carry great irritation, his voice and his face are eerily expressionless. It is quite strange. What have you done since you left Southforge Citadel? I traveled with Greta. I had thought that I could go and find Northforge to use the Geneforge to train perspectives to have a proper office and garments. Instead, Greta started calling herself a general and took command here to deal with some misfit. And so here I am, dirty and unappreciated. It takes great effort to not get angry sometimes. You have a problem with Greta? She does not understand us. We who are shaped, I mean. She has a very basic knowledge of what is possible with shaping, and I've told her that, to her face, and she can't do anything about that because she needs me. She is a decent leader, she might as well be a general, but she lacks vision. Why do you get angry? The outsiders, the ones who haven't got the vision of a Lifecrafter, they are so slow. They make me angry sometimes. The more canisters I use, the purer I become, and the less patience I have with the undeveloped. Yes, I see it in your eyes. I can see it. You have that purity too. You have been properly shaped. You I can respect. Master Jared waits silently to see what you have to say. Every once in a while he concentrates on his Urglach and projects his will to manipulate it. It twitches. What does Greta have you do here? I shape. Every Lifecrafter available makes creation after creation and sends them out into the fens to hunt the rogues of Shaper Monarch. We work to the point of exhaustion. There is supposed to be a purpose, but it seems futile, and the loss of our workshop makes it even harder. What is the purpose? To hold Monarch off balance, to keep him concentrating and always restoring his defenses so that he may become tired and weak and distracted, and we can send agents in to assassinate him. But I am starting to think that the wretch isn't capable of becoming tired. You at a workshop? Yes, in an old peat mine in the fence to the south. You can still find the entry if you leave through the south gate and head west, not far. But we had to abandon it temporarily. There was a mishap. A creation got loose. It was made stronger than intended and rogue as well. Very dangerous. What pains me is that some very valuable supplies were lost. Now I will have to trade to replace them. A very aggravating loss. Maybe I can recover the supplies for you. I mean, we did find the entrance. That would be a worthwhile use for your time, I think, and in return I would give you the equipment I scraped together to trade for replacements. In the workshops, you can find some demon's bile, some mandrake tincture, ibis eye, and a bar of pure gold. Anything else you can find, you can keep. Just bring those things to me. Demon's bile, mandrake tincture, ibis eye, bar of gold. Fair enough. Can I get some training? As I thought, I can teach you magic the old and efficient way. I can also give you access to canisters that are currently being held in storage. Extremely effective canisters, I might add. Tell me about the spells. Banish affliction. Yeah, I need to look at the spells we have. We might need to improve a few. I think we'll be fine with what we got. What about the canisters? Greta obtained 3 of them, very potent ones, which she gave me to distribute. I am not allowed to use them, a fact that I find quite offensive. Anyway, they can shape into you the ability to make a battle elf, a drake, or a glach. Each canister is 1,000 coins. That price is excessive and you know it. You are able to convince him to lower it down to 500. Well, we might be making a glach in the near future. If we get the... Actually, I want to look at, 55 for that, 60 for that. Yeah, we need more magic shaping to improve that. A drake. That could be interesting. No, I don't need to make a claw bug now. Oh well. I'll save what I got for now. We may eventually decide to do something. For now, let's go talk to this guy again. How is it? Commander Ellsworth shifts about in his chair, shuffles through his papers, and swears a lot. Occasionally he complains about the drinking he is currently doing. I don't think that he likes this place very much. How has the war been going? Terrible, but you've traveled more than I have. You've seen what a mess it is out there. At least we don't have to fight the Shapers while we get rid of Monarch. You have a little truce going on in the fence. Both sides have more to gain by snuffing that bastard as fast as possible. You direct all of the rebel soldiers on the fence? No, of course not. There are plenty of field commanders out there. I just direct agents and scouts and spies based in the fort, and the creations that patrol nearby, and anyone that is in my direct line of sight. We and the Shapers aren't fighting here, but the espionage and skullduggery continue at full speed. I'm also stuck with looking after the refugees. Do you have a lot of refugees here? More than we can handle. All of them fled Grosh when it was destroyed. We wanted to get them to move north, to Burwood. It'd be safer for them there. There are a lot of other refugees in the Shaper camp. They refuse to go without the others, and we can't turn them out into the fence to die, so we're stuck with them. Well, you needn't worry. I'll speak with them as soon as I can. We have a message from the Shaper camp. Anything I can help with, though? I suppose there is, if you can do it safely. I wouldn't even bring this up if Greta didn't think you could be trusted. But you would need a way to get into the Shaper camp to the southwest safely. You assure him that you can. Ellsworth is wise enough to not ask any questions. We slipped a spy in among the refugees in the Shaper camp. His name is Vestsea. We haven't heard from him in a while, and we need his report. If you are ever near that camp and can find a way to contact him without getting him killed, do so. Do that, and I might shake loose some money out of petty cash for you. Yeah, what? I'm going to be fighting Shaper Monarch, and I need help. So I hear, and I am authorized to allow my soldiers to volunteer to help you. They have to volunteer, though. I'm not going to order them to go on such a suicide mission under such an untrained leader. He waves at the soldiers arranged in the barracks. All of them look like they wish they were somewhere else. Talk to them. They can tell you what they can do. There are good soldiers, both sword and baton, and a few good technicians, because Shaper Monarch can breed some very nasty minds, and even a pair of channelers, new development, fresh from the north. How do I enlist a soldier? Talking, start a conversation, be friendly, ask to volunteer. If they take a liking to you and they think you won't lead them to certain death, they'll come along. What happens if a soldier dies? Well, they'll be in this tunnel and they'll see a light and they go toward it and their ancestors are there and... Oh, but I can see that's not what you mean. What you want to know is what happens to you after you get my men killed. Then, if you need them, you come back here and hopefully I'll have scraped up more troops to volunteer, so there are reinforcements. Don't get too careless with their lives, though. How do I get rid of a soldier that isn't working out? Just tell them to go away. They'll come back here and be happy to be out of danger. To dismiss someone, bring up their character info screen and select Dismiss. Oh, nice! We'll get assistance. What is a technician? Servile technicians, especially trained, on loan from Durant and Freehold. The best people to have around if you find a really difficult trap or mine. Having a technician around will make it much easier for you to disarm it. Any more advice about the assault? Yes, the hard part will be breaking into Monarch's caves under Grosh. If you can't find a way to get past his traps and sneak in, you'll have to fight through his gates. Then once inside, you'll have to fight your way to the cave entrance. Don't get bogged down killing creations. Monarch has too many of them. You want to rush past them and get inside. And if you see a friendly creation moving towards the enemy gate, stay close to it. It'll help you. And look for ways to slip by the hordes of rogues. Sometimes flanking them can be better than a direct assault. Good luck. I'm glad you're going instead of me. The battle for the gates of Grosh can be a vicious struggle. It might help to stay in combat mode as you advance toward them. Alright then. Interesting.